Is anyone in this room who created either a product backlog or a product roadmap and it went all as per plan? Did you deliver it on time? No. So the reason is we work in a complex world. The complex is more unknowns than knowns. When that is the case, it is really, really difficult to meet the timelines as per planned. There is a lot of surprises. So now let's dwell into the topic, what is product thinking done right? So yes, next slide please, we covered this. Yeah, so what I'm saying here is, this is all a delivery theater. What is delivery theater? Everyone is busy. They do the work. Tickets, more Jira stories. And if you ask, like any developer on a Scrum team or any person in the company who is building the product, why we are building this, very few people will give the answer, the why. Honestly, I'm saying wherever I worked in the world, UK, India, US, absolutely only few people will know the why behind it. And that is a problem in the industry we are facing today. And my happiness today would be, at least few of you in this room, you go back to your work and inspect your Jira stories or product backlog items, question yourself, if you know why we are building that, pat on yourself back. You did well. If not, find out why we are building it. That is the key takeaway, I would say, so far what I have spoken. That's the takeaway for you, number one here. Okay? So next one, please. And the problem here is the fake timelines, which we have already discussed, more unknowns than knowns, is really, really difficult to hit the timeline with all what you have planned. And then roadmap commitments. So I experience this in a day-to-day life. So let me be even more truthful. If not day-to-day life, sprint after sprint. Let's say 2-week sprint. At the end of 2-week sprint, everything is planned, but my hands won't be quiet. It will be moving left, right, and all these things changes. Like there may be the previous speakers were talking about cross-functional teams, multifunctional teams. If priorities for another team changes, you have to move. So hence, the Gantt charts or the plans, whatever I've seen, they look so pretty on paper. The moment you walk out, it has to change. It has to change. And that's the reason, don't plan too far ahead. Things going to change. And that's my key takeaway too for you would be, whenever you're building products, whenever you're doing Agile, whenever you're doing Scrum, the 3 most important points you need to remember is our focus is to increase value. Sprint after sprint, increase value. Then control risk. So you don't want to go and plan all upfront. There is a risk, validate with the market. So build whatever you have built, validate with your market, your users. That's where you're controlling risk. You're building the right things. And then minimize waste. I didn't say eliminate waste. I said minimize waste. To eliminate waste is hard. It's tough. Why? Because you accumulate waste knowingly or unknowingly. And hence, minimize waste. So I repeat, increase value, control risk, minimize waste is your mantra. So when you have this and plan as per this guidelines, at least few of the things will fall in a right place, in a right order. Next one, please. So the certainty trap. So this is also called iron triangle of project management. So a lot of people think like everything should go as per plan. For that, they compromise on quality. So what is iron triangle of project management? So imagine is a triangle, you have a scope, you have your budget, you have your timeline. Our theme is Scrum Day Nigeria, so the plan, so I need to talk about Scrum on this, though I am from the product side here, I want to add elements of Scrum for you. If you take a sprint, your fixed timeline, let's say 2 weeks, 2-week sprint, that is your fixed, it's fixed. Budget, your 2-week sprint, your salaries, your AWS or Azure cost, this is your budget, it's fixed. The scope, this is where a lot of people fall in this trap. you want to deliver everything this pulled into the sprint. Not exactly. You have a sprint goal there. That is what your commitment. You need to go and do the sprint goal. It's not about pulling everything into the sprint. The aim is that, but if you can't, at least you need to meet the sprint goal. And this is where in the sprint planning, I work with my developers. They decide what to pull. And that is where the negotiation happens. Scope is not fixed, people. Scope is not fixed. For example, a simple example, your sprint goal might be online payments made easy. Now, you might pull an item, PayPal integration, Stripe integration, Apple Pay. Now, let's say you got 4 more days and you realized you can't deliver whatever you pulled into the sprint. And that's where you negotiate the scope still. Online payments made easy. But even if you do one item like PayPal integration, you achieved your sprint goal. And this is an art in crafting sprint goals. So there should be a room to negotiate the scope. That should be your product thinking. And this is what exactly I do with my teams when crafting sprint goals. Next one, please. Yeah, so certainty feels good. That's what like all the managers, leaders, they think the predictability. That's why traditionally, like in 1980s, 1990s, we got that habit culture, and these are the people who moved into digital and expect the same thing should happen. But in reality, as we discussed, the complex world, more unknowns than knowns, is really difficult to meet those goals on time. And whereas your learning feels comfortable. So what is learning? You build something, which is execution, the previous speaker said. You build, like you execute, you get your user interviews, user feedback, let them use, they give the feedback, and you adapt accordingly. So it's all about learning and going in the right direction. Next slide, please. And this is what I was talking about. That's your plan. So pretty. It's everything. The moment something changes, this is shattered. But the reality is, like our keynote speaker who said, the reality, this is all like will be cluttery. Something is changed and you need to redraw again the board. And that's the reason I was saying minimize waste is all about don't plan too far ahead. So for me, in example, like I plan not more than 2 sprints, honestly. 2 sprints is the max which I plan because things change. And next one, please. So this is, self-explanatory. Fake timelines create false confidence. There's no one, like it's not going to happen. Next one, please. Yeah, so seagull management. So what is seagull management? Seagulls, Nigeria, so Lagos, seaside. Imagine like you parked a car near the beach side. What do seagulls do? They fly, they make noise, and they do the droppings, the bird poo. So your car may be all filled up with the bird poo. That's seagull management for you. So let me connect the dots in the corporate world. So as seagulls fly, make noise, do the bird poo. So in reality, there are leaderships, like top level leadership in the organization. You all might be related to this as well. Like I have experienced this as well in my life. The top bosses, they fly. They come to the boardrooms. They shout at the middle managers, I'm not getting the results what I want. And they shout and they go. The middle management are no less. Like a bird poo coming from the top to bottom hitting the ground, middle management goes on to these delivery teams, product teams, or scrum teams. They shout at them, I want my results. So it's pressure passing top down. That is seagull management for you. Next slide, please. But there is a better way. So what should these people should have done? The top leader, when they talk to the middle management, hey, I'm not getting the results I want. What can I do from my end to make this happen? That should be the right question. And the middle management, they need to talk to the delivery teams or product teams, scrum teams. The results are not happening our way. What is stopping you from reaching the goal? What can I do to improve our purpose, our goals? So that should be the right question. So this is the way the proper leadership, no seagull management. That's what, like one of the key takeaways, yeah, stay away from the seagull school of management and focus on like helping each other. Next one, please. And this is where the movement should happen. Like from features to solving problems, from certainty to learning, and from outputs to outcomes. So a lot of people say like outcomes over outputs. So what exactly it is? Outputs are really important. Without an output, there is no way that you'll achieve an outcome. So, but still, why do we say outcomes over outputs? Let me define first what an outcome is. Outcome, one of the definitions, there may be many, one of the definitions is change in human behavior for better results. That's outcome for you. When you think from outcome perspective, you are thinking from the why, the purpose. Obviously from there you go backwards, you need an output. So a lot of in this room are like outputs like a digital way, your web application, your mobile app is an example of an output. Like for example, if fast moving consumer goods, I'm thinking a non-technical thing now, the soap you produce, it's an output. And now the outcome is people should use it and change their behavior. That's where it is the outcome. So you need to think from the outcome perspective. Next one, please. And so these are all, yeah, don't worry about the time, like I'll smash it, yeah. I'm known for time box. Don't worry at all, it will be finished. So I'm just talking to the people. Yeah, okay. So the next is here, I was talking about the top leadership. So you have like so many ideas. So discuss. This is another key takeaway for you people. So simple, involve your team, leadership, discuss. Discuss many ideas. From that, decide a few ideas to implement. Once that is done, no matter what, alignment needs to happen. Alignment is the key. And in this fashion, there are two things you need to focus. One is shift left approach. That means one of the anti-patterns is people leave like testing to the far right. They will think, oh, we'll do all the rest of the testing at a later stage. No, shift left means do it in the sprint itself as much as that is shift left. That's key thing for you. And the other one, because we're talking about seagull management, you need to go shift top as well. You need to have support from the top leadership. Otherwise, Agile is again a delivery theater. You need to have support from left and from the top as well. And in this, you might be working with many cross-functional teams. So the way we follow, like UK government now, current organization, where I'm doing some consulting, we have many cross-functional teams. But always the mantra is, we repeat always, we have one team and we have one dream. And let's achieve it. So that's the key thing. So that's another key takeaway. Next one, please. And we discussed outputs for outcomes. Yeah, next one, please. Yes, here, roadmaps as bets, not promises. So, example of bet can be your sprint goal. Your sprint goal is a bet, and you learn from it, and you move on. Not too long plannings. Next one, please. Yeah, that's why we are not about certainty. It's a guess. Its roadmap is a guess, and we inspect, we adapt, we learn, and we improve. Next one, please. And next one, please. We talked about shifting approach. And this is the problem. So, a lot of people, I see in the corporate world, a manager comes, a leader comes, I want you to deliver this stuff, like a set of features. A lot of people don't have the courage to ask for time, not even know. The courage to ask, and they say, yes, we'll do it. And they struggle later. And without understanding, is no point committing to the timeline. So, what's the plan? Like, let's do a couple of features, we'll get back to you, or take time. So pause is completely acceptable. I know it depends on the culture as well. I come from like, I'm born in India, raised in India, studied in India. I was 20 years back. If someone asked, do it, I said, yes, I'll do it. But now it's different, like, the why. And there are other important things. I question bank, I challenge. So the mindset culture is also very important in improving. Yeah, next one, please. And your roadmap language should change. Rather than simply deliver particular API, I said start with why. So why we are doing this. Have that important Why? And hence you can measure. Otherwise it will be difficult. It will be a delivery theater. Next one, please. And you are committing to solving problems, and it's not about delivering all the scope. So problem first approach, that should be our mindset. And this would be my panel discussion later in the afternoon as well. It's all about problem first approach. What problem we are solving and for whom. Next one, please. And this measure outcomes, not output. We discussed a lot about outcomes with an example. So next one, please. Yeah, so in the end, what happens? Watermelon metrics. If you are punishing people for doing things like wrong, then you will get watermelon metrics. So this is commonly used in the industry, like, rag status. They say red, amber, green. A funny incident was like when I was working with other product leaders, the C-level people were asking, like, how is your product doing? If anyone says it's green, wow, well done, next person. If it's amber, make sure you make it green next time. And you say red, stay back, let's all go. And they go like bashing the seagull management, all the shouting. And these people are like humans, adapt, right? They're intelligent. Then these people won't find out anyway. They started saying from red to amber, then green. And these are all contractors. After like a couple of months they left. When you go dissect the watermelon, what happens? It's all red. And these people left, we went in deep. The problem is deeply hit. It's not solved. So when you punish people, your watermelon metrics evolve. So that's why you need to always say, what can you do as a leader to help your team members? Next one, please. And this is where I'm wrapping up. And we are aligning to our theme, the better, building products. What is better? Solve the right problem. So problem first approach. And then sooner. Sooner means it's all about learning faster. And safer, we already discussed with the previous speakers, it's all about quality. So have that quality in your product. And happier, yes, solve the real problems, the purpose, so that when you go and speak to your family at home, you can proudly say what problem you have fixed, and that makes you happy. So that should be our motivation and our purpose. Next one, please. And wrapping up finally, you don't build better products by going faster. Next one. You build better products by learning faster. And for that, you start letting go of fake timelines. So that's the thing. So don't commit always to a timeline. It's all about solving the problems. And then, next one, please. And there you go. And thank you all. And I'll be here. We'll take questions later.
Hi. Thank you so much for that presentation. But honestly, there's the reality of what we face in our own, different organizations. So my question is, in a situation whereby you have, there's a roadmap, right? There is a plan for each quarter. But then you have cases where there are like ad hoc requests that come from maybe the group, top management, C-suites. Everybody has their own priority. In a way, I see it as politics. Everybody has what they want to, fulfill in their tenure or something like that. How do we manage that, right? In the sense of all these various requests that are coming in. And even though we are pushing Agile, there's still that focus on give me timelines. You can't, based on your level, you can't necessarily push back and say, we don't do timelines, we do estimations, right? How do we manage such situations? And then also, for a case where there is a product that is required that will take, give or take, 6 months to 1 year to deliver, and you want to break it down in sprints per se, like you said, not more than 2 sprints, because things could possibly change. But then the owner doesn't want that. I want to see timelines for the entire period. Even though you're going to deliver it per sprint, let me see the amount of weeks it's going to take you and how timelines. How do we also manage that? Thank you.
Yeah. So the question is completely aligned to the theme of the presentation once again. So this is where I was saying, yes, if you get pressure from the top, if you don't need that shift top approach, if they're not supporting, these things fail. Absolutely no doubt about it. And when you have, once again, like planning sprint after sprint for the whole year, and this is where your watermelon metrics arise again, then how to solve this problem? Without support, like unfortunately, if there is no support from the top, it's impossible to fix this problem in reality. There is no doubt. But then how you got like Scrum and Agile is all about, a lot of people think Scrum fixes problems. Scrum never fixes problems here. Agile never fixes problems. What it does, it exposes problems. And you as humans, we need to make a decision. We'll do what you want, but now this is where you're suffering. You show the results. When your quality is suffering, how on earth you can deliver whatever is planned for the sprint? It's impossible in my experience. And if you want to deliver that, and this is where your quality suffers, at that end, if you don't make a decision, the company might be closed at one day. If you are a private organization, if you're a government organization, obviously you will be all over media saying like this has gone bad. And hence, there is no shortcut for this. You need support from people. I can say one key takeaway here, because whatever I said might be at the top level. Because some of you, I'm not saying particularly you, some of you in the room might be at that entry stage as well to make these decisions. When you are in that situation, one voice, unity is strength. So that's where one voice will not solve that problem. When I see myself in this situation, like 12 years back, what did I do? When I was a product owner, I spoke to my Scrum Master and we got some unity. Then we took some developers. As a team, we went and we spoke to the top level management. Then we got a buyback in. But as a one person, you'll be ruled out. So this one little step I would take is use your team and go and solve the problem. It may take time, but this is one quick win, I would say.